I landed some good stuff in there, but I don't know, something is just, it's hard to sometimes pull the trigger now, I guess. I don't have that killer inside. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but I hesitate a little bit now.
Rory Macdonald, also known as the Red King, is mostly known for his now Hall of Fame 5-round war with Robbie Lawler, which gave us one of the most legendary stare-downs. Now, what if I told you that same fight would change Rory's life forever? But before we get there, let's start from the beginning. Rory Macdonald made his professional debut October 15, 2005 at the age of 16. Rory would go on to win his first 9 professional fights, all by finish, which would land him a UFC contract, at which he then made his debut January 11, 2010 against Michael Gaiman, which he would win by armbar in the very first round, extending his win streak to 10 fights, boosting his hype even more. For only Rory's second fight inside the UFC, he was booked against UFC legend and former WEC welterweight champion Carlos Condit, where Rory would look to have full control in going into the final round, where he was finished. But the stoppage was pretty controversial if you ask me. Even with the loss, Rory's hype wouldn't go away too much, as he would win his next 5 fights after that, which included wins against BJ Penn, Jake Ellenberger, and 15 minutes of ragdolling Nate Diaz. That win streak would be broken after he came face to face with Robbie Lawler for their first meeting, losing by split decision, but this wouldn't be the last time these two would meet. Rory would go on another win streak and picked up unanimous wins over both legends Demain Maia and Tyron Woodley, which would land him a title shot and a shot at getting revenge on Robbie Lawler. July 11, 2015, UFC 189. Rory and Lawler was set for a co-main event championship bout that would change Rory Macdonald's life and career. This fight is regarded as one of the greatest, if not the greatest fight of all time. This fight had everything. Back-and-forth action, bloodshed and incredible will were shown from both fighters and gave us one of the greatest stare-downs in UFC history. Going into the 5th and final round, Rory corner stated the famous line,
5 minutes and you win. There's a Q-tip.
Rory would be jabbed in the nose before falling down and being finished early in the 5th round. With taking place in a war like that, it's bound to have life-altering effects afterwards, and that's what happened with Rory. Rory would return 11 months afterwards in a bout against Stephen Thompson, where he would lose unanimously, and would be his last fight with the UFC. Rory would compete both in Bellator and PFL, and even became champion in Bellator, but postponed leaving the UFC. He would go 5-6-1 in that stint, which eventually left him to retire in August of 2022 after a disappointing loss. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Rory went in depth about his reasoning for retirement.
I don't have that certain thing, that spirit, that heart to go out there and get it done anymore.
What led to his retirement?
The injuries I had from the second Lawler fight, it really started to play with my head.
And his religion and faith.
Could you share what those reasons were?
Yeah, it was just conflicting thoughts with my faith, becoming a new Christian and things like that.
A wise man named Nick Diaz once said,
This ain't a sport, this is war, this is warfare, this is a war game.
Rory goes to show exactly the effects fighting has on an individual mentally, physically and emotionally. As we the fans are spectators of the sport and don't really know what goes on behind the scenes and what fighters really go through. That's gonna be it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment and video suggestions you have for me. Hope you all have a great day.